Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's make a red and blue spiral shirt. I have the shirt turned inside out and I'm going to start the spiral just about level with the armpits of the shirt. I'm going to attach a pair of locking tweezers to the shirt where I'd like the center of the spiral to be. Then I'm going to use a microwave splatter guard and place it upside down over the top of the tweezers. As I turn the tweezers with one hand, I'm going to use my other hand to form folds in the shirt. Then I'm going to take off the splatter guard and continue forming folds in the shirt and hold all the folds in place with some rubber bands. Okay, so here are the red and blue colors that I've chosen to use on this shirt. Before I begin applying the dye, I'm going to take a washable marker and divide the shirt into 4 sections. I'm making sure I take each one of the lines down through the center of the spiral. That will help all of my colors originate from the same area. The back side of the shirt, I'm only going to divide into 2 sections. I'm going to liquid dye this shirt, and to keep the dye off of my table, I've placed an old kitchen towel underneath the shirt. Normally I dye over the top of racks, but this time I'm just using a towel placed on my table. On one half of this side of the shirt, I'm adding 2 different shades of blue dye. I'm starting with royal blue from Dye Spin, and I'm having issues with the dye bottle nozzles clogging. So bear with me as I keep changing them out. I'm going to add a different color of dye to the back side of this shirt, so I don't want to oversaturate this front side. I want the dye to go through about halfway to the back side of the shirt. The other blue dye that I'm using is Sky Blue from Dharma Trading Company. Now I'm going to add 2 shades of red to the other half of this side of the shirt. I'm starting with Chinese Red from Dharma Trading Company. And just like on the blue side, I'm going to add a different color dye to the back side. So I don't want to oversaturate this side of the shirt. I want the dye to go through about halfway to the back side of the shirt. The other red that I'm using on this side is Spanish Carmine from Custom Colors. I'm also going back periodically and adding just a little bit more color to the other sections. Okay, so now I'm going to turn the shirt over and apply dye to the back side. When I turn it over though, you can see that the dye has started to come through to the back side. So I added a little bit more dye to the front side than I was intending to. If you remember, I divided the back side of the shirt into two sections. So the side of the shirt where I put red on the front side, I'm going to apply strong navy from Dharma Trading Company to that half of the shirt. I'm going to try not to over apply the strong navy. I want to just cover up the entire back side of the shirt, but I don't really want to heavily saturate it. On the other side of the shirt where I applied blue to the front half, I'm going to use Cardinal Red from Dharma Trading Company. After I'm finished applying the dye on the back side of the shirt, I'm going to turn the shirt back over with the lighter colors facing up. I want to let gravity work with me and not against me. I don't want the dark colors that I've placed on the back of the shirt to overtake the rest of the shirt. I'm going to place this shirt down inside of a container and allow it to process for at least 24 hours. I have a lot of questions about how I allow the shirts to process, if I put them in plastic bags and seal them up, or what I do with the shirts. When I liquid dye, I place the shirts down inside of a long container that has a rack down in the bottom. The plastic container is one that's intended to go underneath the bed, so it's long and it's not very thick. The rack is a closet shelf, which I've cut the end off of to make it fit down inside of this container. Then because the rack has like a little lip on it, I've taken some PVC pipe and just cut a few small pieces of PVC pipe and placed on one side of the container to kind of level the rack out. Then I place the shirts on top of the rack and put the lid on top. If it's hot outside, I can take this container and set it outside, and because the lid is white, it is not going to allow the direct sun on the shirts, and it will also help keep the shirts from drying out. And as you can tell, I can fit quite a few items on one rack without the items ever touching. The rack also allows any of the excess dye to flow through the shirt and away from the shirt so that it won't muddy the colors. Okay, so to rinse the shirt, I took it to my utility sink and I began rinsing it in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. The water is pretty purple where the blue and the red are mixing, so I'm curious to see whether or not the shirt ends up with a lot of purple on it. After rinsing in cold for a while, I untied the shirt and warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing to rinse out any of the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Since there was quite a bit of excess dye coming out of the shirt, I went ahead and ran some hot water in my utility sink, added a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent to the water, and just allowed the shirt to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed out the water and continued the soaking process until the water was almost clear. Then I put the shirt, along with a little bit of Dharma's textile detergent, into my washing machine and washed it using a hot water cycle. And then after the shirt was washed and dried, this is what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? I really like this shirt. I was a little bit concerned that I would end up with a whole lot of purple on the shirt, and I really didn't. There is some purple up on the sleeve. Mainly when you're looking at the shirt, it's the sleeve over on the right-hand side. But for the most part, when you look at the shirt, it definitely looks red and blue, which is what I was going for. I wanted a shirt that was patriotic, but I wanted it to be a little bit different. And I'm pretty happy with the way this one turned out. The Chinese red and the Spanish carmine that I used side by side on the front side of the shirt are a little close in color. It's tough to see a huge difference between those two colors on the shirt. But I do really like the effect of the strong navy and the red mixed together in the spiral on the shirt. I think the navy really makes the red color pop out. So I really like the shirt. I think it's a fun shirt, and I think it would be a cool patriotic shirt to wear. And if you guys have enjoyed the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.